I could have been on the stage, but instead I've been left with a voice like this. So, if you wants to contact Skaggy the Poet, why not drop him an email via the Grey Area Podcast? Or follow him on Twitter, Skaggy Poet, all one word. I promise you'll be able to understand me. Ta-da a bit.
Gotta love Skaggy. Thank you for that original idea. And now I'd like to talk about my news of the week. As I said, I'm still playing hard at Draw Something with tons of friends and loving it. Getting new color packs makes a lot of difference. It's tough when you only have 3 or 4 grayscale colors to be creative, but yay, color pack. So now I can draw things like Zelda, Ewoks, and M&M, which were some of my favorites this week. And I kept my promise and purchased Fable 2 for my listeners' Xbox gift console that I was given. Thank you so much. And I've been playing that and having a lot of fun. And as usual, the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer is taking up a lot of my evenings and is now actually available for viewing on Twitch TV. And speaking of which, I am broadcasting this live tonight from Twitch for the first time. It's been a learning experience for sure, and you can see videos of the multiplayer, Death Before Dishonor, and more at my Twitch TV channel, which is twitchtv.com/Genesee, funnily enough. So come check it out. Now, let's move on to our interview with Vipin. And Vipin Trudstall is from Pune, and let me try to pronounce this, Maharashtra, India. And he is a game tester for Ubisoft Pune there, best known for playing Tom Clancy's Splinter Cells trilogy, and he was kind enough to let me interview him. And the difference about this interview, I've never done something like this before, is we had a technology difficulty in that we could not record together. So we had to do old-fashioned emails back and forth, and I managed to get the questions asked, and he answered in segments to them. So we will put them together and see what sort of magic happens there. So here is my interview with Vipin, and a big thank you to him for doing that with me. Okay, so without further ado, let's introduce you to Vipin. And obviously, since we didn't get a chance to speak directly to each other, there's not a lot of follow-up questions involved. I emailed him a list of questions, and he responded back and did some segments for me regarding those questions, which he was kind enough to do. So hopefully this works out, and I'm just going to add his answers into my questions and assemble the interview for you. But it was really nice talking to him through email and having the opportunity to get a look inside the world of game testing that I've always imagined.
Hello listeners, I am Vipin Trudstall and I work as a game tester in Ubisoft's Pune studio. I have worked on multiple consoles like DS, 3DS, Wii and PS3 and on multiple games like Splinter Cell and Rayman Origins. I have been called by Genesee for an interview, so let's not waste any more time and start.
So first question. Vipin, how were you first introduced to video games? Did you play as a child?
I was introduced to video games at the age of 3. My uncle got me and my elder brother a handheld called Heli Battle from Casio. I still have that console in working condition and I'm proud of it. That being the initiation, I moved on to play video games on arcade machines when I was 5, usually being accompanied by my elder brother Vinay. And eventually I was gifted with an NES by a cousin at the age of 7.
We've talked before about some of my favorite games on the show, but how about you? What are some of the things that inspired you and some of your favorites in the gaming world?
Prince of Persia Warrior Within still tops my list of favorite games. The list also includes Resident Evil 1, 2 and 3, Tekken series, Splinter Cell series and Assassin's Creed of course. And I forgot to mention NFS Most Wanted and Hot Pursuit.
All of my friends and myself love to play, and it's something we do for recreation and competition and a chance to kind of hang out with our friends. But what made you decide to make a living with it? You have an engineering degree, so I'm interested in how you went from an engineer, a licensed engineer, to a gamer.
It wasn't a hard decision. Since 2003, I dreamt of working in a gaming company, and I got a chance in 2009, so took it right away. I wasn't working at that point of time after quitting my previous job as sales and service executive. Being an engineer no doubt helps me in my job, so the pieces of my life's jigsaw puzzle fell into right places. What more can a guy ask?
I think we all imagine that we know what a game tester does, or that we have read or seen something about game testers. Everyone likes to blame the game testers whenever there's a bug or something that isn't perfect about the game. But let's break it down. What exactly does a game tester do, besides the obvious? And are there any requirements to that?
Let's first define the obvious, as sometimes people misunderstand the most obvious part. So the obvious thing to do for a game tester is to find and report bugs in a game. Now that's more easy to say than done. First of all, a game tester isn't necessarily a good gamer, and it is not true that a good gamer can be a good tester, because playing games is one of the many skills required for a tester. The tester has to first understand the game design and mechanics, and then create test cases accordingly. Then work according to them to ensure a good quality product. The tester has to think of multiple scenarios, as when the product is out, it is being played by millions, and every feasible scenario is to be tested and checked, so as to make sure that the end user doesn't experience any issues. A tester is also expected to comment on game design and should be able to suggest better alternatives. Certain games require testers' feedback in balancing the game. So for the ideas to trickle in, the tester has to be creative with good enough technical knowledge. Also, the tester has to be able to work in a team, which is very important for the quality of the product and the tester's own personal growth. Patience and communication are very important virtues. If you have an idea, then proper communication ensures that the idea is passed on well, and besides, while reporting issues, we have to make sure that the developer understands the bug very clearly.
I assume, like I said, that you're looking for bugs and functionality, but do you still get to enjoy the gameplay when you're doing it for a living? Does it change the way you feel about the game?
Yes, I still do enjoy the gameplay for a certain amount of time though. It becomes monotonous, which is quite understandable, as when you are on a same project for 8 straight months and you have to test the same game daily for 8 hours. However, let me point out there are certain exceptions. Certain games are so good that even after the project is over, the tester would still enjoy playing them. Few examples are Might and Magic, Clash of Heroes, and Rayman Origins.
I'm sure there are many listeners who would really love to do this. Can you tell them a good way to get started, or what they might need to do to plan ahead?
Well, say your prayers and eat your vitamins, and also study games, not just play them. Understand what makes a game fun. Read game reviews for startup. Improve your skills of being observant, and when you see the time is right, apply for a game tester job. Stick around and be dedicated. That will buff up your skills even further, and soon you will see yourself as a prominent part of quality control.
And how did you find out about Ubisoft? I'm also interested in the difference between Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Entertainment. Is it all the same parent company and you just have different branches, or is there a difference in the structure?
Frankly, I didn't found Ubisoft. Ubisoft found me. I was in Mumbai to collect my engineering certificate, and I was searching for a new job, having quit the previous one. I wasn't looking for Ubisoft. Seriously, I couldn't have dreamt that Ubisoft will open a studio in India, so I never searched for it. And one fine night, while I was in Mumbai, my friend called me, and he asked me that I always wanted to work with Ubisoft, and told me that our common friend is already working over there, and I should talk to him. I called him and sent in my resume. After about 20 days, I was working with Ubisoft. As far as the difference between Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Entertainment is, there is no difference. The Pune studio is a part of Ubisoft Entertainment, though it is a young studio, but we are learning and growing along. We are looking towards working on bigger titles through our hard work and dedication.
Tell me more about the process of applying to Ubisoft and what it was like to get such a coveted position. Were you very excited?
The process is simple enough. Send your resume to HR department, and when shortlisted, you will go through certain tests and interviews, and if you pass them, then you are in. As far as I am concerned, when I got in, it was like a dream come true. It felt like a fairy tale, a Cinderella story where the midnight was never to come.
What are your feelings about Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell trilogy? I'm sure you've played it it seems like years, looking at your resume. So what are your feelings about that?
That's the same question I got when I was interviewed for the job. And the answer is simple. It is an amazing game. It is a game which shows the innovation horizons and a game which I used to play a lot before joining Ubisoft. It makes you feel like a spy. Anyways, the HD and 3D versions of the game were developed in Pune studio only. At that time, I was on Might and Magic Clash of Heroes, but I was pretty much excited to later work on it. When I got the chance to work on it, the first thing I understood was the kind of pressure a tester is in while working on such a big project. I mean, the seniors here don't push you, as the kind of work is only the motivation we need. But still, the title was big, being the first PS3 game developed here, and above all, we had to deliver a quality product to millions of Splinter Cell fans. So the pressure was natural, and on everyone. Overall, it was fun, learning, and strenuous one long year.
Is it